time to take a look. The show devoted to letting you know what's coming soon in theaters, what's streaming now, and what to watch on TV. Let's get started. Here's what's happening in Hollywood.
We're at the Pacific Design Center and we're about to watch Bombshell.
Ultimately, we wanted to do something that felt entertaining to watch.
Every single woman in this gives a spectacular performance.
The human quality is, I think, what people are really connecting to in this story.
These complicated human beings who step up and do something really remarkable.
I'm interested in people who are complicated and flawed because I relate.
We were all like, well, this something has to be done.
That conversation is happening right now, and I think that's why this movie has some real power behind it.
It's such a personal experience. People feel that they can speak up and be heard and believed.
We had an obligation to really capture it authentically.
Any bit of power you have, if you use it wisely, it can make a huge difference.
And so thinking about this movie coming out right now with all of those things around it, it feels really powerful.
You have to adopt the mentality of an Irish street cop. The world is a bad place. People are lazy morons. Minorities are criminals. Sex is sick but interesting. Ask yourself what would scare my grandmother or piss off my grandfather. And that's a Fox story.
Oh, it makes so much sense.
Women are everywhere. We're letting them play golf and tennis now.
HR's on the phone because you called me a skirt.
Yeah, I gotta read that manual again.
The attitude off camera was even worse. You're a man-hater. Learn to get along with the boys. You're sexy, but you're too much work. I have a whole list.
Will other women come forward?
You may have heard there was a dust-up involving yours truly and presidential contender Donald Trump.
There was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Oh my God, did he just accuse me of anger menstruating?
Wait, am I gonna be the story?
No. No.
I'm gonna be the story.
No.
Nobody stops watching because of a conflict. They stop watching when there isn't one.
I want to convince you that I belong on air, Mr. Ailes. I think I'd be freaking phenomenal on your network.
I could pluck you out and move you to the front of the line. But I need to know that you're loyal. I need you to find a way to prove it.
I'm the bad guy.
You know why Roger's got that door blocking his office.
Someone has to speak up. Someone has to get mad.
Fox News star Gretchen Carlson dropped a major bombshell today.
What is she doing?
This could kill Fox News.
We need everyone on Team Roger.
Get it on. Put it on.
These are the end times.
You do understand I have to be above this, right?
You know the entire country is talking about your period right now.
So you're a tough guy, like you really rough guy. Just can't get enough guy, just always so puff.
Sweetheart, this is an island of safety and truth.
There's a man!
Ready to go to war?
Oh, yeah.
We asked how the stars felt about Gretchen's bravery and the movement she started.
Gretchen Carlson was definitely somebody who put herself out there and put herself in a very vulnerable position. And it is so known now that we know more about these kind of like harassment situations and toxic workplaces where it's a really scary place for women to feel brave enough to own their truth and to speak about it. And I think that there has to be empathy for how all women handle all of this stuff, and none of us are going to do the right thing at the right time. But Gretchen got pretty close to it, and I think everybody else had different circumstances to kind of take into consideration for them to be able to join that. But I think that's what makes it an interesting story. It's not as simple as like a woman gets herself in a situation where she feels uncomfortable and it's her workplace and that she just does the right thing from beginning to end. This is uncharted territory, and the human quality, that human conflict behind it is, I think, what people are really connecting to in this story.
This all happened in the summer of 2016. It was before the Me Too movement had really got the ball rolling, and that really adds to what these women were up against, and kind of shows how difficult it can be when there isn't the support there. It just makes it even harder to stand up and come forward.
about the misuse of power and abuse, and the way in which these women were able to stand up and speak out and actually instigate a massive change. And even though, they're very, very complicated issues that we're dealing with, I think it's done in a really entertaining way, but I think it's a very accessible way. I think it's visceral, and it's told from the female point of view.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. See disclaimer for law firms.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Thousands of men and women in the landscaping and farming industries may have unknowingly been exposed to serious health risks when working alongside this product. Call right now.
Call 800-871-6374.
We'll be right back. Welcome back. What's happening behind the scenes?
At the height of the First World War, two young British soldiers are given a seemingly impossible mission. In a race against time, they must cross enemy territory and deliver a message that will stop a deadly attack on hundreds of soldiers. This is 1917. Take a look.
The First World War starts with literally horses and carriages and ends with tanks. So it's the moment where modern war, you could argue, begins. From the very beginning, I felt this movie should be told in real time. Every step of the journey, breathing every breath with these men, felt integral. And there is no better way to tell the story than with one continuous shot.
3, 2, 1, go, go!
From the first moment I talked to Sam about the idea of it as a one-shot movie, I knew it was going to be really immersive.
It's meant to make you feel that you are in the trenches with these characters.
The film in itself is a slice of time.
These two young men get sent on a mission to deliver a message to stop an attack.
So they've got to cross into enemy territory on a race against time to deliver a message that will save 1,600 lives.
And the camera never ever comes away from the two characters.
There's always that sort of get out of jail card that you have with the movie. Well, we might be able to cut around this, or we might take that scene out. That's not possible on this film. The dance of the camera and the mechanics all have to be in sync with what the actor's doing. When you achieve that, it's really beautiful and exhilarating. Sometimes you have a camera being carried by an operator, hooked onto a wire, and the wire carries it across more land, and it's unhooked again. That operator runs with it, then steps onto a small Jeep, which carries him another 400 yards, and he steps off it again and goes round a corner.
Let's go back to one.
This film does not take place in a series of interiors. This is endless exteriors. No location ever repeats, so you're constantly moving through landscapes.
Being such an exterior movie, we're very dependent on the light and the weather. And we kind of realized, well, for a start, you can't really light it.
Action.
Because, you know, if you were running down a trench and turning around 360 degrees, there's nowhere to put a light anywhere. And because we were shooting in story order, we have to shoot in cloud to get the continuity from scene to scene. So some mornings the sun would be out and we couldn't shoot. So we would rehearse.
And we're rehearsing.
And then we'd be waiting around, everyone with their eyes up in the sky, trying to see how long it'd take for the sun to move behind the cloud.
And as soon as it comes over, you've got this 5-minute window.
Everyone would be like, come on, go, go, go.
Go, go, go!
So you are also in the lap of the gods.
It's like a piece of theatre every take. Once it starts, it can't stop. If something goes wrong, you just have to keep going.
Until you actually see it on a screen, you don't really realize how immersive it is and how that technique kind of draws you into it.
For me, engagement is very important. And that is behind the way in which we've decided to shoot this film. I wanted people to understand how difficult it was for these men. And the nature of that is behind everything.
What made you pick me?
I liked your picture.
What?
You had this sad look on your face. I felt sorry for you.
Damn. So what happens tonight?
Did you think we were gonna have sex?
Nah, look at you. No. I thought we were gonna hang out, maybe get to know each other.
You're swerving a little bit back there. Go ahead and ask you to step out of the vehicle for me.
Get on the ground!
Are you serious?
Why is he under arrest?
Just chill, just chill! Get back in the car, you're going to jail too!
What do you want?
I want to ride or die.
Cop killers! Cop killers!
It was self-defense.
There is nothing back there for us.
Yeah, we're in the Black Bonnie and Clyde.
Is this y'all?
Power to the people.
I ain't gonna bend the world. As long as my lady remembers me fondly, that's all I need.
Can I be your legacy?
You already are. I think everything is destined.
There's more to look at in a moment. Here's what's happening in Hollywood. Check it out.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? Would you be mine?
There's nobody in media, there's nobody in television, there's nobody in I think in the consciousness that didn't already have an understanding, as well as I think an opinion of Mr. Rogers.
It's not just about being nice to one another. I think it's about making an effort to do that.
I used to watch Mr. Rogers, so I knew everything about his TV show.
And it was singularly honest.
He had a mission of kindness and a mission of being present.
He just wanted to make little kids, little human beings, feel safe, even if they didn't have all the answers. Please won't you be my neighbor?
Hey, I'm looking for Fred Rogers.
In here.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Please won't you be my neighbor? Hello, neighbor.
Mr. Rogers, I'm here to interview you.
It is so nice to meet you.
You okay?
Profiling Mr. Rogers.
Boyd, please don't ruin my childhood.
This piece will be for an issue about heroes. Do you consider yourself a hero?
We are trying to give the world positive ways of dealing with their feelings.
Yeah? Like what?
There are many things you can do. You can play all the lowest keys on a piano at the same time.
You love broken people. Like me.
Sometimes we have to ask for help, and that's okay. I think the best thing we can do is to let people know, boom, that each one of them is precious.
Hey, Mr. Rogers! It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Please won't you be my neighbor?
That was wonderful.
Now let's take a look with Kristen Wiig on the set of her latest movie.
Do you notice our First Lady of France has her scarf look going?
I can't wait until she finds out about my new job.
I seriously doubt she even knows who you are.
I love playing Audrey. She's sort of like a grown-up mean girl. Well, not sort of. She definitely is.
None of the other mothers like you, Bernadette. Did you know that? Say amen to that.
Wow. Audrey and Bernadette have a cataclysmic relationship.
Your hillside just went into my home.
Audrey was so caught up in the neighborhood and local society. There's an uptightness about her that I really find interesting.
Bernadette!
Incoming now. What do we do?
Punch it. Bernadette! Oh! Did you see that?
There's a lot of unspoken, passive-aggressive exchanges between the two. Kristen Wiig is absolutely hilarious.
Oh! She ran over my foot.
What? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Where'd you go, Bernadette?
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. See disclaimer for law firms.
If you or a loved one were exposed to Roundup weed killer and were later diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Thousands of men and women in the landscaping and farming industries may have unknowingly been exposed to serious health risks when working alongside this product. Call right now.
Call 800-871-6374.
Far away, as north as we can go, once stood an enchanted forest.
You've seen an enchanted forest?
Yes, it was a magical place. But something went wrong. Since then, no one can get in or out.
Wow, Papa, that was epic. What would I do without you? You'll always have me. Has Elsa seemed weird to you?
She seems like Elsa.
There's this voice. Voice? What does that mean? Head for the cliffs!
I'm gonna blow! I got you! The kingdom is not safe. Find who is calling to you. They may have answers.
I'm going with you. Anna? No. Excuse me, I climbed the North Mountain, survived a frozen heart, and saved you from my ex-boyfriend, so, you know, I'm coming.
That's normal.
Where are we?
How did you get in the forest?
The mist parted for us. Impossible.
Where did you learn magic?
Elsa, get out of there! You can't just follow me into fire. Then don't run into fire.
Magic is very alluring. Without you, she may lose herself to it.
Protect Arendelle at all costs.
I believe in you, Elsa, more than anyone or anything. Quick question. Is the whole putting us in mortal danger gonna be a regular thing?